Hello, my name is Rolly, ZL1BQD. Welcome. Now those who have been watching my channel will see from the opening scenes that I'm about to start a new series. And you're right. In this series I'll be taking a road trip to visit ham radio operators around New Zealand and talking to them about their interest in this fascinating hobby of amateur radio. So why don't you join me? You know what to do. Yep. Pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, and come on, let's go on a tour together, shall we? Well, we're heading north to go and visit with a ham radio friend of mine, Nick, ZL1 Italy United. It's about 4.5 hours north of my QTH in the city of Auckland. At the moment we're going over what's called the Auckland Harbour Bridge, which connects the Auckland city to the northern shore of Auckland. Oh, hello there. My name's Rolly, ZL1BQD. Come with me as we visit my good friend Nick, ZL1 Italy United. I think we've got some stuff that we can show you that'll be real interesting. Yeah, g'day Nick, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, thanks, Rolly.
Yeah. This is ZL1 Italy United, ZL1IU, good friend of mine for many years. Hey, from memory, you were in one of my amateur radio classes, weren't you?
I was. I think Gail and I passed at the same time, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, yeah.
Boy, that was a long time ago, eh?
1980, 85.
85.
Yeah, 85.
Right. Yeah.
So,
And so you were in Auckland at that time, in the middle of the city, weren't you?
yeah, I stayed in Auckland and had a very good location there for 80 metres and high wire antenna up.
Yeah.
We decided to move up north to the countryside, and we've been here ever since. Found this property in 88, 89, bought the land,
Yeah.
and couldn't afford a house till 91. We had the house built. So,
Yeah,
but
it's a
always
fabulous
afforded.
location you got here, mate.
Always afford to build antennas, though.
Right, yeah. Now your passion at one time used to be 80 metres and probably still is, isn't it, eh?
I've really not been on any of the other HF bands in any size, shape or form. It's just been stuck on 80. I just got hooked on the band. In those days you had to spend a year on the band.
Yeah.
I think, no, you had to do your CW again.
Yeah.
And I just stayed on 80 metres and I've been on it ever since.
Yeah.
I just haunted the band day and night.
And you're over the 300 on 80 metres now, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I've not quite sure. There's about 6 or 7 left to work, and that'll take me a lifetime probably. But building the 4 square in '96 kicked things along a bit. Took me up to the 300 mark pretty quickly from about 260, I think, if I remember.
I know there's one that you got your back that I don't have, and that's Scarborough Reef.
Oh, that was Marty up there. I take my hat off to those guys. Yeah, Mike Edwards and David and myself.
Yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure if anybody else. We worked them right on the last morning. Marty came up for us, and he was booming in.
Yeah.
And that's I've got that card inside. It's a very memorable contact. And most of the ones I've made, I can remember them like yesterday, especially the Africans.
Yeah, yes. Well, Africa from New Zealand would be our most difficult shot, wouldn't it? Particularly on 80 metres.
We get some. You can try have a station there for 3 or 4 days or even weeks, and all of a sudden you can try each day, and then one day it works well.
Yeah, yeah.
Other times it's you might not know he's there, or he's way too weak, and that applies on single sideband and even CW. Most of the ones I've worked in recent years, the harder ones, have been on CW. A lot of them don't bother coming up the expeditions on sideband now.
Right.
I don't blame them either. But so I get down the bottom and hammer away, and only run really a couple of 100 watts down there because the 4 square's set up for phone.
Yeah, yeah.
But I managed to get through to most of them, and it's very satisfying.
Yeah, I remember morning after morning after morning going out to my mate Russ Pearce's place there at 3 o'clock in the morning. The guys in town thought it was nuts. You know, why do you want to get up 3 o'clock in the morning? But you know, then just that one mystery morning, ZS5LB was there as bright as day, and I worked first South African on 80 metres. And in those days, that was a real accomplishment. Got a lot of flack, you know, from the guys who didn't believe me, you know, and things like that. But
you know, like I used to write letters to people in Africa, and you wouldn't hear back from most of them, but then all of a sudden, suggesting skeds, plotting the grey line on my old slide rule DX.
I remember that.
And
pre-computers, eh?
I remember 5 Tango 5 Charlie Japan, I think. I wrote a letter to him. Roy Jackson and I wrote a letter, ZL4BA. And we suggested a time, it was about 3 months ahead. And then lo and behold, there he was. And we both worked him.
Yeah, brilliant day.
Amazing. And Charles, Sugar 9, Sugar.
Yeah.
I wrote to him, I emailed him, this is not that long ago, 15 years ago, I suppose. And he said, oh no, my antenna's right in the middle of the Voice of America raise, I've got terrible noise. And I pleaded with him. And he says, okay. And he came up, and there he was, and I just blew me away. And we worked
brilliant,
him. Mike and David and I, we worked him. And
those are the stories you remember, aren't they?
The three, and that was on single sideband, and the 3 Charlie Zero. I've got that on CW on 80, and that was one that Ron Wright, I don't think, Ron said to me, the one that he needed.
Right.
So, it's,
Well, for those of you, the astute of you that have been watching and so on, they'll probably notice something in the background behind Nick. Let's zoom out a little bit here, and you may be able to see it, but that's Nick's 4 square on 80 metres. So I tell you what, let's go for a little bit of a wander, shall we, and have a look at it. Okay. Where are we looking at over here, Nick?
Yeah. This is looking long path Europe.
Yeah.
And that way, short path Europe. Straight
up through the house.
Yep,
there, yeah?
Yep, straight through there. So,
and so this is a beautiful takeoff you got all the way around. It's just fabulous, isn't it?
It's
straight out to the ocean out there.
Come over here, Rolly.
The long path Africa out over here, yeah?
Yes. Yes, long path Africa and USA, North America, and this is short path Africa, and Europe too. The lobe, I think the lobe just goes over the top of Madagascar. Right. I sort of brought them around a bit to give me being Africa the most difficult.
Right. We're standing right in the middle of your array.
Radials under each element, and most of them are longer than a quarter wavelength.
How many elements did you say?
85
85
odd radials under each element.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're full-size element radials, are they, or?
They're in excess of 60 feet, 70 feet probably
Right.
each they are. And the elements are full-size aluminium tubing.
Right. So that's what, 60?
About 63 feet.
63 feet elements.
Yeah. We set it up, and I set it up where, and it's the least amount of dump power. It's about 1% or less than 1%, is around 3788.
Right.
So
everything comes to a central area here, and there's your control box and all that sort of stuff.
Control boxes in there.
There.
It's a homebrew one.
Yeah.
Based on a guy Picker OH1RY.
Yeah, the switching is pretty tricky, isn't it? To get the switching correct.
Yeah.
Because you don't do phase line switching here.
Well, no, the phasing lines are they have to be foam. Velocity factor for memory, I think of them is about 84, 85. You can't use just ordinary ones because they end up too short. Yes. They won't reach the array. And Bob, we use the toroids I got them off young Derek Fortune, who's sadly a silent key. We bought T400s, which were larger, and Bob wound up those and set it all up. And as I said, the least amount of power, it's 1% or less, and it's been the same ever since it was built. I did improve the radial system, which I think helped. Maybe psychologically, but the more copper on the ground, the better.
Yeah, indeed.
And I had plenty of wire, so I used it.
Good. Okay, Nick, so what do you got here, mate?
This is an FT 2000D, which I just use for listening around on.
Yeah.
And it's a great radio. I love it. Had it for a couple of 3 years. And I also have an FT5000 MP here, which I use. I love the radio. It's a superb receiver, and I just switch over at the back to it. And that's 80 metres during the day. It's long path Europe. Preamps are on, and there's S meters at 0.
So hold on a sec.
So nice and quiet. Thank goodness.
So that's your noise. That's your ambient noise level in the middle of the day. Preamps up. Everything full noise. And what's your S meter reading there?
Well, I was just sitting on 0.
Sitting on 0. And isn't that beautiful, though?
That's probably the electric fence clicks.
Yeah.
So it's I'm happy, and it's been like that for many. I've had noise sources come, been able to sort them out, but you're always in fear of them turning up again with all the electronics today.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Have you had trouble with, say, imported electronics from stuff you bought, and these jolly switch mode power supplies? And
plasma TVs are the worst.
Yeah.
The neighbours are 800 metres away, and I can hear their plasma TV burbling away. It's about S2 when it's on. That's all. It's not, but it's damned annoying when you're used to a quiet band. But some people would probably be happy with that.
I'd be ecstatic if I had S2 in town, Nick, where it's normally sitting around about S8, S9 on a good day.
It's a shame. It's a shame because it spoils a hobby, and a lot of people don't realise what can be done if they had a quiet location. But it's just you just have to work around it.
Oh, well, it's marvellous. I know I have operated from this QTS before, and I've been absolutely astounded at what we're hearing and so on like that on 80 metres. Nick, it's just incredible. Incredible indeed. Well, that is the end of part 1 with Nick Z01IU. In part 2, we have even more surprises, so stay tuned. Now, the best way you can do that is by clicking the subscribe button below and ring the little bell. That way, when part 2 is ready to roll, you'll be one of the first to know. Until then, bye now.